Finge que é só o audio recording, tá? This is the digital, okay? Well, I'm here in London, in southwest London, at Joe Macari Service Center and Showroom. First of all, James, thank you very much for your time here. So, how did Joe Macari started?
Well, Joe used to be a racing driver.
Yeah.
He used to race at Le Mans and various other tracks. And then he got into car trading around 2000. So, and that's when he started building up the collection that you see today in the showroom.
So, and how did you started to sell those hypercars and collection cars, because you have a quite unique collection here?
Well, one of the first things, I actually only heard this story recently from Joe himself. One of the first cars he dealt in was a Jaguar XJ220, just like the one just over my shoulder. He traded that for a group of other cars, and that's what started him in trading cars as we are today.
So Joe Macari now is not only the showroom but the service center?
Yeah, Joe has the largest classic car showroom in London, and he also has a Ferrari Maserati approved service center just behind this building, where you'll see modern Ferraris and Maseratis as well as other classics. He also has body shops in the UK and in Italy.
And in Italy. So you do all the restoration from the classic Ferraris also?
Yeah, we do the classic Ferrari restoration. So someone will commission us to restore their 250 short wheelbase, for instance. That comes into our service center here, gets stripped down, and then it will go off to a Ferrari approved body shop in Italy. They have oversight of the whole process. The car then comes back to us and we put it all back together again. While it was in Italy, we've done the engine, the gearbox, etc. At the end, what you get is a Ferrari-approved new classic Ferrari.
So with the value of the car gets
the value
even higher.
of the car is in the fact that it is immaculate throughout, and the fact that Ferrari have approved that restoration and will give you a classifiche document that says that they've done it.
This is very good and special for auctions around the world.
Yeah, if you took a car that's been restored to auction and you took a car that had Ferrari classification to auction, the one with classification is going to make more money for you than just the restored car.
Can you show us a restoration?
Sure, we have a 250 short wheelbase over at the back.
Let's go there. So this is the first Jaguar.
This isn't actually the Jaguar, but this is the car that he first started with.
Okay. Well, this is such a nice car, beautiful car. So this car was all, not all, but most of the parts, restoration were made in Italy.
This car is owned by a guy who came to Joe and said, I'd like to get it fully restored. I've seen the quality of your work and I want my Ferrari to look that good. So that came into the service center, it's been stripped down. It then goes off to our Italian body shop.
It's a Joe Macari body shop.
Joe has a body shop in Italy who do all of the work that you see here today. So this blue 250 has been completely rebuilt with new trim, new wiring, dashboard, everything's been done on it. Ferrari have had oversight of that throughout the process. It then comes back to us in the state that you see it today, and then we will put it all back together again. The total process is 12 to 18 months.
12 to 18 months. There are some parts that I think that are very difficult for the restoration, such as the leather. And so how did you get all this? You get the new leather, or you can get a type of leather that you have used in a...
It has to be as good as, or the same quality and finish as the original leather. For instance, we couldn't just take a leather off the shelf and do it. It has to be the right kind of leather with the right finish. And yes, it's new on these cars.
And the engine, also the parts, you buy all the parts in Ferrari?
Well, as far as possible, in all the restorations, we retain as much as we can of the original. So although this car will have new looking light bowls and chrome trim, they will more than likely be the original ones that have been replated. So wherever possible, we use the original parts, particularly important on things like the drivetrain, the engine, gearbox, etc. They have to be the original to retain the value of the car.
To retain the value. That was my another question, because some customers, they want to do their own modifications. Of course, they won't cost as much as it is if it's all original. But do you do this?
Yes. For instance, there is a green Daytona over by the reception desk that is actually Joe's Daytona. And that particular Daytona it's got modern suspension on it, modern dampers, modern springs. It's got an aluminium radiator in it with twin electric fans. It's got power steering, because that Daytona now drives superbly on the modern roads, in modern road conditions. You can now drive that through London and get stuck in traffic without it overheating.
Yeah, really good. So, and how much we're talking when in this car when it's all ready and with the full restoration and with the Ferrari certification? Okay,
well, this particular car is owned by one of our clients, so I won't value that. But I can tell you that the green Daytona is 1.9 million.
1.9 million.
And that's a fully restored car.
Fully restored.
Now, it's important to note that on that fully restored car, although Joe's done a lot of modifications, we retain all of the old parts. We put them into our storage center, all labeled up, so that when that car does sell, we can sell it with all of its original components. We can even put it back to the way it left the factory.
So with, what's the warranty of this work? Like 1 year? Or?
Joe gives warranties on all of his car sales.
Okay. Okay. Can we take a look more at the showroom? Okay.
You've got the very first Lancia Stratos. I know you've probably seen Lancia Stratos, but this is the very first Lancia Stratos.
I've never seen live this car, and you have it's a very good looking. It's a different car.
It is a restored Lancia. It's fully documented. It also has pre-production features in it that you won't find in other Stratos, because it's the very first one.
It's what's the engine of this car?
That's the same engine that's actually in the 246 Ferrari Dino. Okay. So it's the same. It's the V6.
It's the same, and you also have another Lancia.
The Lancia S4, the car that beat the Audi Quattro in the 80s on the rally stages. The car that was so good that it caused the end of Group B rallying.
Yeah.
Because it was just too fast.
It was very famous because of the rally.
Exactly. Yeah. This particular one is immaculate throughout. It's been fully restored. Every single thing's been done on this car.
Every single thing.
Yeah.
And how much would cost a car like this?
That car is on the market at 245,000.
245,000. And you have one of the most classic cars here.
Well, this is a unique
right-hand drive.
A unique 280 SL Mercedes.
200 SL.
Now, why is it unique? Because it is absolutely immaculate. I mean, I don't normally show people the boots of cars, but this is a good example of the attention to detail on this car. Even the boot is immaculate.
It's absolutely new. This wasn't restored from a restoration.
This has been restored.
This has been restored.
Absolutely restored from the ground up. It's the best 280 you will find in the world.
This is an amazing car. This is, for me, is one of the most beautiful cars, the classic cars. It's this one.
It is a beautiful, beautiful car, and also in a great color.
And the price?
That is on at 200,000 sterling.
200,000.
Now that sounds like a lot. It is a lot.
It is a lot, but
it's a lot for a 280 SL as well, because you can get a good one for 140, 160,000. But people who have good ones come and look at this one and realize that their good one is tatty.
Yeah.
Because that is a whole different
This is the perfect
area.
SL.
Yeah.
And now for the Ferrari fans, I think that only in a few places in the world, if it's possible to see such a collection of hypercars from Ferrari. You have the F40, F50, the Enzo, and two in a entrance of the showroom that we'll show for the people later. So we have all the hypercars.
You have all of the great Ferraris. We've got the 288 GTO, we've got the Enzo, the F40, the F50. We've also got a 250 GTO recreation.
250 GTO.
The 250 GTO, only 33 were made. This is a 250 GTE that was rebodied by Allegretti of Italy 15 years ago. So the same company that made the Series 1 250 GTO made this one. So it's indistinguishable from a real GTO. But a real GTO is going to cost you $30 to $50 million.
$30 to $50 million. That's a lot.
That is a lot.
That's a lot.
This recreation will only cost $550,000.
$550,000.
Given that the car is actually based on a 250 GTE, which is very similar to the 330 GTE over there, you would have to buy that car now as it is for $240,000, and then you'd have to get it rebodied as a GTO. That's good value for money. It's going to cost you more than that to build it. And that's aluminium as well. It's not fiberglass kit car. That's a proper recreation. It came into service. It was so accurate. The guys had to look at the serial number to see if it was real or not.
If it was real number. And how is to deal with fake restorations or bad restorations? How do you deal with that? Because you only work with original parts and you keep it immaculated, as you said.
When we do a restoration, we do a full ground-up restoration using as many of the original parts as we can, but with new bushes, new bearings, new parts wherever required. Joe won't let a restoration go out with his name on unless it's perfect.
Unless it's perfect, yeah. And now here we have, for me, two of my preferred Ferraris, the F50 and the Enzo. You said that this Enzo is almost brand new.
Well, this is a very special Enzo because it's only done 900 miles.
900 miles.
900 miles, so it's virtually new.
And how is to, when you keep a car like this without using, what do you have to do with the maintenance?
Well, we sometimes have cars in for a couple of months at a time, so we always trickle charge them, we keep an eye on them. So if you've got one at home and you don't drive it for a year, you've got to maintain it while it's in your garage. If you're going to leave it unused for a year, you should really get it serviced before you take it out.
Yeah.
And we do that. There's a guy we sold a 275 Cabriolet to. He wanted to go on a rally. He gets us to service it. He goes on his rally,
and then
he
come
brings it
back to service again.
And we check it, and he had no problems.
No problem.
That was because it was one of our restorations.
Good. And we're talking about more than $1 million here.
Yeah, that Enzo is on at 1.2 million.
1.2.
And it's on at that price because it's only done 900 miles. Yeah. Round the corner, we've got an F40, a very early plexiglass F40 that's just come out of a museum. It's only done 5,000 miles. 5,000 kilometers.
5,000 kilometers.
3,000 miles.
3,000 miles. This one.
So this has just come in from service. It's being cleaned up for display.
Okay. Yeah, this is... Well, the F40 is one of the most classic Ferraris. One of the people who loves Ferrari loves the F40.
Yeah, and F40 has really picked up in price recently. people really want this car.
Really,
it's a collector's car.
A collector's car. Really great. Here is the entrance of the showroom. We have some other classic cars here. But talking about the new cars, this is the LFA Nürburgring version.
Yep.
Yeah, it's the special edition.
It's the special edition Nürburgring next to an Aston Martin.
This Aston Martin is amazing.
That Aston Martin's in its original colour. Original paint. It's only done 7,000 miles. 7,000
miles.
Yeah, that's all.
It's a classic, the front of the Aston Martin. It's like in the James Bond movies.
Absolutely. And then next to it we have a 250 Le Mans. Next to it a Super America, very collectible now.
Super America.
Yeah. And AC Cobra, a genuine AC Cobra. A Fiat Spider, and the classic that most collectors have, the flat floor Series 1 Jaguar E-Type.
And so you sell cars all over the world, not only for UK or Europe.
Yep. We have customers from the UK, from Europe, from all over the world. I have customers in Hong Kong.
Hong Kong. And it's so the customer can come here and say, oh, I want a car like this. It gives you the new...
So if we don't have what they're looking for instance, a customer comes in at the weekend, he's looking for a particular car, we will find him a 458 that's black on black leather.
Okay.
That's what he's looking for. We don't happen to have one. So we'll find that car.
So if you need to do any restorations, you offer the service also?
Yes.
Okay, but now just to finish, we have to show the difference between the men and the boys, okay, with the big cars. So everybody wants to see a LaFerrari, and when you go to the auto show, and you can't see it anymore.
Nope.
Ferrari is not, we just came from Paris on the auto show, no LaFerrari there. So you have two.
We have two, yeah.
Talk about this, please.
Well, Joe has sold both of these LaFerrari.
Okay.
So they're here waiting for their new owners to come and pick them up. But as we had two, we thought we would make a statement by putting them into the front of our showroom together, flanking another rare car, the Pagani Huayra, which is the only right-hand drive car in the UK at the moment.
Yes, we took some pictures with all the cars with the wings up.
Yeah.
And they are just amazing. How is to buy LaFerrari here in the UK? It's because it's not an easy car to buy it. Even if you have the money, it's not easy to buy it.
You do have to know who has LaFerrari and who's willing to sell their LaFerrari. So
because there is a waiting list on Ferrari.
There is a waiting list, and it's also a difficult car to find and source. So if you said to me you wanted LaFerrari, it'll take me a while, but I will find you one.
You will find one. So it's not that would be not the mistake, the difficult to buy it. So you can buy it.
The thing is that you're going to be paying a premium.
Yeah.
If you are lucky enough to be invited by Ferrari to have a LaFerrari, you'll be paying 1.3, 1.4 million for it. On the second-hand market, you'll be paying more than that.
More than that because of the difficulty to buy it. One of the things that was really funny because we got inside of the two LaFerraris and there is a badge with the number, which is 1-499.
Yeah. They only make 499, but they won't identify which one is number 1 and which one is number 6, for instance, because they don't want to differentiate the value of the very first one from the 6th one.
So here at Joe Macari, there are no difficulties if I want to buy a McLaren P1?
If you want a very special car like a P1 or a Lamborghini Miura or an Aventador, we will be able to find you that car. I will even be able to get you a Veneo if you wanted one.
Yeah, great. What if I want to buy an F1 car?
Well, you saw that at the back of our showroom there is a Le Mans racer, so we have a bit of everything.
The budget is the limit.
And whether or not it's available.
Yeah. Just to finish, so we're talking LaFerrari, what's the price tag here in the UK?
Well, it's very difficult because these two LaFerrari are sold. We don't actually have one available. If I was looking for one, I'd be looking to pay 1.7 million sterling for it.
1.7 million. And the Pagani, you said that this is
The Pagani is for
unique
sale right
here.
now, and it's right-hand drive, and it's on at 1.35 million sterling.
1.5 million? And it's
1.35. 135,000.
Okay, and it's the only right-hand drive here in the UK.
It is the only right-hand drive Pagani Huayra in the UK.
But you can, if anyone in Brazil wants to buy it, a right-hand drive, you can ship it out to Brazil.
Yeah, or we can ship anywhere. We do ship anywhere.
You do ship anywhere.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. It was really, really nice to meet here, the showroom, to be with you and talk about this beautiful, beautiful collection.
Well, thank you for coming in. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you.
Bye now.
Bom, terminamos aqui. Foi tapa na cara da sociedade com Pagani Huayra e LaFerrari, duas LaFerraris juntas.